Good morning. Today we are going to see SDG 13, which talks about stop climate change right now, or others will never be able to live. Stop climate change now or never. And post pandemic corrections and achieving SDG and going to moon, Mars, and beyond as usual. What are the problems created or aggravated by pandemic? SDG 13. First is climate crisis is unabated. I have taken these three words literally from the United Nations website and put over here. They are perfect. Climate crisis is unabated. Second, in 2017, we reached 1 degree Celsius above the pre-industrial level temperature before 1850s or something like that. You just go and see. If we want to reduce temperature by 1.5 degrees Celsius, then we are falling behind the 2015 Paris Agreement. Third point, shifting economies to carbon neutrality is on the whole due to pandemic. It needs course correction. Okay, by 2050 we have to reach 1.5 degrees Celsius below. So we are taking so many measures, reducing carbon dioxide pollution, reducing this, reducing that. Fourth, climate finance increased from 2015-16 and to 2017-18 by 10%. It reached USD $48.7 billion. But at certain places, they talk about $100 billion collection. And it has got negative impact due to pandemic as well. Next point, out of 154 developing countries, 125 have National Climate Adaptation Plan with highest priority given to certain pointers. First is food security and production. Second is human health. Third is key economic sector and services. Fourth is in terrestrial and wetland ecosystem and freshwater resources. All have got negative impact due to pandemic because whole value chain of food production and supply and reaching to consumer has got affected and other points also has got affected. Now we definitely need the course corrections. Okay, now we move ahead and we see SDG 13 targets and indicators. Target 13.1, strengthening resilience and strengthening adaptive capacity of all the countries for what? Climate related hazards and natural disasters. Okay, indicator 13.1.1, number of deaths in that disaster per 100,000 population, number of missing person per 100,000 population, number of people directly affected per 100,000 population. We saw it in an earlier SDG as well. Indicator 13.1.2, number of countries adopting Sendai framework 2015-50 to 2030 for disaster risk reduction. Okay, indicator 13.1.3, proportion of local governments adopting national risk reduction strategies in line with the Sendai framework created by United Nations and disaster risk reduction. Now 13.1.2, number of countries, and 13.1.3, proportion of local governments, national governments, and if the local governments are also going in parallel with the national government or not. That is the indicator. And those are the indicators, in fact. Target 13.2, integrating climate change measures into national policies, strategies, and policies. Planning. So, ditto as earlier target we saw. Indicator 13.2.1, number of countries adopting to UN framework for convention for climate change with all the details, number of countries out of 193 members. Indicator 13.2.2 is total greenhouse gas emission of that nation per year, maybe 100 million tons per year, something like that. Target 13.3, improving education, awareness, and human and international and national capacity on and institutional capacity building as well on climate change, climate mitigation, climate adaptation, disaster early warning, disaster impact reduction. We saw it in earlier SDG as well. And indicator 13.3.1 is extent of education reaching at grassroots level for the global citizenship education and sustainable development goals. Are they included in the curricula? Are they included into teachers education, training the trainers, student assessment, as we saw in the earlier SDG as well? Next is 13.3.2, number of countries adopting this 13.3 out of 193. Again, target 13.8, mobilizing green climate fund worth USD 100 billion every year by 2020 to avoid Earth getting converted into greenhouse like the Venus. As per the UN Convention on Climate Change, to transparently see the action and results in developing countries, it needs course correction. Indicator 13.8.1, amount provided in USD for collective mobilization goal by planned USD 100 billion per year commitment through 2025. Okay, so So it is checking whether we are up to the mark of collecting $100 billion and implementing it for this climate change mitigation purpose. Target 13 point B, promote mechanism for UN framework convention on climate change in least developed countries. Out of 46 least developed countries, how many are adopting? Small island states, out of 52 SIDS, how many are implementing? Including focus on youth, local and marginalized communities. Okay. Now next, its indicator is also like this. As per the Intergovernmental, International and Global UN Framework Convention on Climate Change which is reported to UN Secretariat, with there are 4 pointers to it: nationally determined contributions, long-term strategies, national adaptation plans, and adaptation communication. Okay, what are the nationally determined contribution? That it has to come with the one complete team devoted to floods, one complete team devoted to earthquake, something like that. Long-term strategies, that today we have only ground moving vehicles, but we slowly in long term we will also have the helicopters, the drones to take care of this. National adaptation plan, that today we have these things only in metro cities or cosmopolitan cities. Slowly we'll move to small cities and village level as well. Fourth is adaptation communication. Communication has to be at the grassroots level, it should reach. Simple. Now it has several ratios are there, one or two just indicators, indicating ratios we'll see. Ratio 1 is number of least developed countries out of 46 LCD countries implementing all about these 4 pointers. Ratio 2, number of small island developing states out of 52 SIDS are implementing all these 4 pointers, and these are just representative ratios, there could be more. Okay, so that we try to implement climate mitigations and stop the climate change, and we try to make earth as green, as livable as possible. Okay, now as usual I have final request to all of us, I mean all of us, all the whole humanity. If we achieve SDG and go to moon, Mars and beyond, then or parallelly we go, that we achieve SDG at the same time we go to moon, Mars and beyond, we achieve SDG here, then sustainable goals there, wherever we go, then we'll be called our own best friends. Otherwise, all humans will be called their own foes, and we'll be shaking hands, or our bones will be shaking hands with the dinosaur fossils forever. So let us avoid that. Please save humanity. Thank you very much. If you have any suggestions, kindly let me know. I'll try to correct whatever mistakes if I have committed in these presentations. Because to err is human, but correction of err means mistakes is also human. Let us correct our mistakes and let us make Earth livable again for every entity on Mother Earth. Thank you very much.